Mm. Welcome to Spirit River Podcast once again from the beautiful Lewis River, and it is a sunny day here today. So, today we're going to talk about inflammation, since that's something that affects almost everyone. And I'm hearing more and more stories from my friends that are now getting older that they have joint pain, they can't get up in the morning very easily, or they can't sleep, or, a thousand things. And I want to talk about what you can do to reduce your inflammation effectively. So I have a little story about my trip to India, and that was in 1984 when I studied meditation in India with my teacher, and someone arrived from Germany. Her name was Ingrid, and she had a horrible kidney infection. And this was the first time in my life that I heard the word turmeric. It's that little yellow root that looks like a carrot, just a little bit stunted, and has kind of a mellow taste. I have a ton of it in my freezer right now, fresh turmeric root. I always have turmeric root in my house because I make ginger, turmeric, pepper, and honey mixtures every morning. So he gave her turmeric and warm milk with pepper and cardamom, and within a day, her inflammation and her kidney pain subsided. And that was the first time I found out about turmeric. We didn't really take it that seriously at that time, and we were kind of laughing. And then it started showing up 20 years later in places like Costco. And now, Pete, welcome today. I am so happy you're here to tell us about an amazing product with turmeric.
Hey Petra, it is fantastic to be here, and what a great subject to talk to your audience about. Because if you think about it, as we journey through our lives, we all suffer from inflammation. But what people don't realize, of course, is that there is acute inflammation and this chronic inflammation. And there is a product that I have been using now for quite some time, and it is absolutely amazing. Now, there's lots of things we can do when it comes to helping to reduce inflammation, right? Because inflammation can be caused by so many different things. We were just chatting about this before we started, right? It can be created within because of lack of sleep. It can be to do with diet. It can be to do with the toxic load. It can be caused by stress. There are just so many things that, as we go through our everyday lives, that can cause inflammation within the body. But the acute inflammation is actually a good thing because it's the body's response to be able to help to repair, help us to recover from something that may have happened in the moment. We might have gone over on an angle, we might have cut ourselves, right? And the body, is required to have inflammation to actually support the repair process. So inflammation is a good thing, but not when it becomes something that is recurring inflammation over and over and over again. And I think that's what we're really here to talk about today, which is the chronic inflammation. And I absolutely love turmeric. But not everyone is aware that it's not actually turmeric itself that actually supports reducing of inflammation. It's the curcumin
Ah,
within turmeric. There's two real elements in there that we could pick and look at. One is the oil element, and the other is the curcumin, right? Which is what people are more familiar with when they see that lovely bright orange powder. And it's the curcumin that actually provides the therapeutic benefits, right? That really helps to extinguish the flames within our body, which is really, really important because when our body is in this constant state of alert, if you like, then it means that it's not focusing on helping the body to be able to be optimized to be able to, yeah, for us to live our best life and to support all of the processes. So we want to be able to reduce the this ongoing inflammation because it can have significant impacts on our wellness moving forward. And the particular product that I love is a product by doTERRA, and it's a turmeric, but it's a dual capsule.
Mm.
So it's very, very easy, and it's all designed to be able to maximize absorption because not everyone is aware that curcumin is a very difficult substance to be able to be absorbed, right? So if we don't have the right delivery system, then the reality is we could take curcumin and it could go right through us and it could just flush out our body and we just wouldn't get any of the benefits. So what we really need to do is it needs to be coupled really with an oil because of course it's more fat soluble, right? So what we do is if you have a look at this little, I don't know if you can see this, right? But this is just an
Ooh,
amazing
yum.
capsule, and
Look.
it's like a capsule within a capsule, and it contains two elements, right? So it's actually got the oil, which is from the turmeric root, and it's also got in there the curcumin. So
Mm,
this is really, really important. Now, normally when you have a turmeric root, it probably only contains about 5% curcumin. So actually the thing that creates the biggest impact is actually in the smallest quantity when it remains in its natural state. So what I love about this incredible product is that what doTERRA have done is they've effectively been able to tap into the product. They've extracted the oil and they've also extracted the curcumin. Then they've adjusted the quantities so that it's 95% curcumin. And that's really, really important because now we've got a really concentrate, which is required to be able to make a significant difference, right?
mm,
So when we actually take this, it's all about the delivery system. It's about the way that it transports it effectively down to where it needs to be so that it has a delayed release, and the turmeric essential oil that's also contained in this capsule is what really supports the effective absorption because it's not what we put into our bodies so much as what our body is able to absorb. And what we really want to do is we want to get it into the bloodstream so that it can actually start and get to the areas that is required to put out that inflammation.
mm. Fascinating. I just love that there is oil in the capsule. How
Mm.
extraordinary is that? Because when I have my little turmeric roots, which I order from San Francisco from the Indian store, and they come in a package, I have immediately put them in the freezer, and then I have to blend them, and then I have to strain them. So really, this is the only way to get
It,
the full
it's
value of the turmeric root.
Well,
Fascinating.
it is because at the end of the day, we want absorption, and
Mm,
if we take it a step further, we want to get the benefits, right? So, doTERRA, of course, is a company of science, so they understand the body, the pathways, and they understand that how can we get this to where it needs to be able to give the customer the best possible result. And the turmeric essential oil, what that also does is, which is really amazing, because it's not just about the curcumin. The curcumin helps to be able to put out the inflammation, but the essential oil element is supporting absorption. Okay, we get that. But number two, what it's also doing is it's actually providing additional immune support, and
mm,
this is hugely important because you know. And if an impacted immune function is directly related to inflammation. So by supporting the immune system as well, and also being able to help us with like oxidative stress, because that's as we go through our everyday lives. This basically helps and supports the body to rebalance and be optimized, as well as get the benefits from the inflammation. So I love this about this product. And there's also an additional side benefit, Petra. And this is like, but it's an amazing side benefit. You see, curcumin is not so easy to absorb. We get that. So even when we take it in this form, it's still not going to be like 100% absorption, right? That's why we need to have the concentration which we get, from this product. But what happens is you're going to have some of this curcumin that's actually within the gut, right? And this also supports the microbiome. So it actually
Ooh.
supports a healthy gut, and it suppresses, the bad bacteria as well. So there is an additional side benefit that is equally as powerful because I speak to so many people who talk about, for example, autoimmune diseases, which can be caused by, microscopic tears, like in the intestinal wall, right? And then you start getting a seepage of toxins.
They're called leaky
Um,
gut. Is
exactly,
that's what that's
leaky
called?
gut.
Yeah.
And this can cause a number of different autoimmune diseases. So, with this fabulous additional benefit that you get, where it's supporting a healthy gut, it can actually help to repair some of those microscopic tears. So, effectively, it's helping to reduce the challenges that people are having with leaky gut. So, all round, it is
Wow.
just a winner. It really is.
Extraordinary. I learned so much.
It is. It is. It's amazing.
Oh my gosh. So you healed yourself. You had some illness when you first found out about these products, and then you started experimenting with them, and pretty soon you recovered, and then you decided, oh my goodness, this is a great company. I think I'm going to support it. And so I'm really
100%.
just so grateful to be working with you, Pete, and thank you so much for being on the show today. And I hope everyone learned something. So now we know we need to take turmeric for our microbiome, for as an anti-inflammatory. And why is it important to have a complete turmeric with what is it called? Curcumin? Yes,
Curcumin.
curcumin, curcumin. All right. Well, thank you everyone for sharing your time with us. And thank you, Pete. You're
My
amazing.
pleasure. It's my absolute pleasure. Thanks, everyone, and have a fabulous day.
See you soon. Bye bye. So, thank you so much for joining us today. If you would like to find out more about turmeric capsules, the information is in the notes on TikTok and Instagram. And the show will be on my YouTube channel at youtube.com/Petra Nicole. We will be getting together every Wednesday at the same time to talk about different subjects. Next week, it is anti-aging. Thank you again for joining, and we'll see you later. Ciao, ciao.